and the people, those who are sort of like praised in terms of learning the master's language or the master's habit, etc., etc. I think those will be the one maybe that Frantz Fanon are thinking of when he's writing about his, black mask and white face. No, black face is white mask. Sorry. And I think that the colonizers have always found a way to sort of pick out those individuals or those groups in any African countries, and then make some sort of connection with them. And they, of course, are a result of the divide and rule strategy, and their ambition is to be, to be as close to the master as possible. Mm-hmm. And so they naturally also want to imitate the master and what the master does, without any empathy or compassion for their fellow citizens. And they're also, victims of this mental slavery, mm-hmm. that we're talking about.
Yes.
And so that is also a group that we in Africa have to find a way to, I'm thinking deal with seems like such a harsh word to say, but to include in our work, to to awaken, to decolonize in a way. Mm-hmm. But in terms of also corruption, we have to do the work ourselves, but this is also enabled through the masters. Yeah. And I don't know how we can shed lights on the individual former colony masters or former colony masters, but there's something that we need to do there.
The reason why I wanted you to shed light on that is because it also comes from mental slavery, as you said, rightly. And we have been, I think altogether we have been saying the same thing, that is, we have to change our mindset, just like corruption. Corruption is from what they have learned. How do we decode them? As we want to decode the mental slavery that we're talking about. So, Musa, I know you have a very good advice for the viewers. You like to do this philosophic thing.
Yes, corruption is a thing.
Yeah.
So
okay.
The European people have say every time they say the African is corrupt. I talking. Why is Europa? You take the big company in Europe, Edison. You take the big government in Europa. That is corrupt. Don't pay here, don't pay there. You take Volkswagen, Edison, everything. Telia, this touching. This Telia is from the government in Sweden. This is corrupt. Don't pay to do that too. This corruption in Europe transports the people, so the mental colonizer in Africa, or pay those government, or people in Africa and Latin America say, oh, this government is corrupt. Ben pay this corrupt. Ben sold the gun for kill more people.
Our people. Our people.
Exactly, our people.
You know? This is problem. So I think only that I think all the people in Africa is corrupt. And why? Ben spy them.
I would also like to comment.
This is a problem we want to think.
Because definitely.
The hard, when English people got from Gambia, 98% people don't know can write it. 2% of these people put them down in the government. The same in France, in Senegal, in Mali, in Guinea. Only the people sometimes don't kill them, don't kill. In Congo, don't kill Patrick Bumba, don't kill Thomas Sankara, don't kill everyone, you know. Implantando terror, you know. O se said to us, this is corruption. Why come this corruption in this culture, you know? Why come this corruption in this culture? These people, what is it, Mobutu, in Congo, they were so corrupt, they had so very much money in Europe. And then Europe say, okay, now Mobutu is no more good for us, I taken some money from this group. Oh, every money some Mobutu had it, Europe take it back. Don't know? This is a problem that we must think. We're talking only on corruption in Africa. Why?
And I think to that I would like to talk about, in conjunction with corruption, the main infection Africa is facing today is the invasion of China. And these, I believe, this generation need to pinpoint, because the long-term effect of China's coming into Africa and the way they do, there will become a time when our children will be without land. They will learn Mandarin as their language. Because the Chinese, what they're doing is they come and give you a big loan. They know we need the money now. With this money, it's not a gift, it's a loan. And the time period they give you, you can impossibly pay that loan. So what they counter that with, if you don't pay this loan back, we take your birthright.
Yeah, you're talking in China, I can talk in French. Every colony from France, in Africa, pay 450 million euro every year to France.
Exactly.
For a don't kangaroo fried from the France. Why did it? You can go to your home, take everything you have. As I say, okay, you can live in your home, but you don't have nothing. But you must pay me for living in your house. This
It's sucking the black one.
this is fantastic.
It's true about what he's saying, but it's like
No,
you said, it's true.
European people have now installed big propaganda. It's China, China, China. Because China has a big latent infrastructure here, and the highway, and the what is it, train, you know, and they put in latent fabric there, here, there, you know. But not talking nothing on the European company, some continue plundering, continue the robbery, robbery in Africa, because now this enemy in the global politics is China. I don't talk to African people, Latin American people. Hey, China is danger. Why is on these Europeans now talking to us? China is danger for me in Latin America and Africa. No? Why don't these developments in Europe had? I pay Africa, pay this development. Why don't have in Africa nothing? Because this is very complicated, this situation, you know. Because I not like this political situation in China. You know, I'm not like this. You know, I don't defend China.
It's not about China, but the reality
I want to change this global. So we don't say to us, we want a discussion on China's problem in Africa. Don't take everyone. And you said the companies on Edison, iPhone, everyone company don't plunder the Congo. Don't pay the mercenary for kill people. Don't pay for I don't have children some working in the mines, you know. this is not talking nothing in Europe. Don't talking on the danger.
And nobody's talking about it.
No one was talking on this. Don't talk on the dangers on China and can come to see one motor one highway from from Gold Coast to Africa. You know. The why is the construction infrastructure in Europa give to Africa? Nothing.
You mean what they give to Africa?
Nothing. You go to Gambia, don't know how the street, the pavement, do not have nothing in Senegal, do not have nothing in Mali, do not have nothing in Guinea. Do not have the water. Some people can drink in rainwater. They don't have nothing because Europe in the 400 years, in 400 years in Africa, take it. Now come the non competence, economic competence. So China, or say, okay, you can take one liter water here, or you can take a highway, so you can transport in the continent. Oh, this is danger! Oh, China! You know, I don't know, I understand this situation, you know. I don't like you China's politics. I don't like the China politics in Africa because it's not solidarity. You know, it's not solidarity. Don't go deeper because Africa had Africa is very rich. Don't know how shelter the poor people in Africa. Because these poor people in Africa is rich.
Oh yeah, you mean the Africans are rich?
They
should not come and make us think that we are poor.
Yeah.
No. But isn't that all just a question of changing masters? Because you're saying is a change of masters really, or like now what we're seeing in the media is basically the war of the masters, because one is trying to dominate the other by talking trash about the other and so on. In terms of like the African kids in, I don't know, 10, 20 years or so learning Mandarin instead, I see like a similarity there already. I mean, if you think one of the colonial legacies that we have in our school system in Africa is that, for example, as soon as you start school, primary school, before that, you may, as in Congo, you may have been speaking Lingala or Swahili or Kiluba or whatever, but as soon as you enter school, if you really want to go to a good school, then French is all there is. You have to speak French. And I think that the school curriculum is based on either the Belgian or the French school curriculum. So it's like, I don't know, we have to choose. We're looking at the two evil
colonial masters to go with.
Yeah.
Because
I wanted to say something.
Okay.
I was listening to, well, really, I don't know her full name or her name, but she is the African ambassador to US. And she was shedding some lights in what is going on in Africa right now and how we Africans can try to change it. And actually, we are now, it's like something have woken up us, some of our leaders, and even the elites. And now, even to the grassroots, people want to do something. Before, it was like the mental state was, just wait, we'll come and give you food. But now, it's like we have to do it. Go and cultivate the land. Who can go to school, get higher education. Because without education, we're still in that poverty mentality. We cannot change. And even when our presidents, our politicians want to change what is going on in our country, because of we're still under the European power, meaning the banks, we cannot decide how much we're using. It's the World Bank and all the bank systems that are kind of of like having the last say in what we can do for our own people. If even they loan us money, is they are the one to give us guidelines how we can use this money. But somehow I don't blame them. Our leaders are corrupt. And without maybe something monitoring them, the money, even though the system is monitoring them, they are still, the rich are getting richer. The poor are still struggling. So it's like when we come together, organize ourselves, and the African community organize itself and start discussing this. I can tell you some of the best wisdoms are not from the professors. It's from that man in the village who knows his problem and know how to solve it. The only thing is he doesn't have a say. So this is why, as organizations, when we go out, this is what we're trying to impact on the people. You can say what you want to say. We are here as the middleman to talk for you, to go to the government, put it in writing for you, so that you will have your human rights, your basic human rights. When we're talking all about this, what about the women? We are going to go into those things later, but we still have to bring them.
Absolutely.
We still have to highlight them.
Absolutely.
Men goes out, women stay home, but they work twice as much as men. We have to take care of the children. We have to contribute to our own families and to the economy. Some women in some countries do not sleep until 12. And they are the first one to get up. They also have to go and bring in their living. Some of them are farmers, some of them are traders, but they still have to go out there. But when our men come home, after work, we pet them. Tradition says we have to pet them.
Exactly.
We are more tired. And we have the children to take care of. But yet we have to give them 1 hour, 2 hours. They have to go out with their friends.
If you don't, you're a lazy woman.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're not taking care of your man properly.
Yes.
Why did we pay dowry for you? Yeah, I know.
And some of them are saying, or some fathers are saying, why the man should pay so much money is because I have educated you. I did this, I did that. But what about my mom?
But that, you know what that makes me think of? Because, so there was this thing I think like a couple of years ago, I just thought about the women in Congo. Because in Congo we place high value in educating ourselves. Like we have, I think, maybe like 90% unemployment rate or something. But there is still this emphasis on a university degree.
Just like Nigeria.
Just like Nigeria.
Wow.
But you're still expected to be a housewife. So it's either like, okay, so you pay this high price because, you know, I've educated this woman, but this woman would also be able to educate your children. Is that, can we say that there's some sort of, you know,
something is wrong in that picture.
Yeah.
What about when we want women to take part in politics? And they start telling, I have to ask my husband first.
I know, even like the last time I was in Congo,
That's mental slavery.
How can Africa get out of colonization of the mind as a people, and what is the way forward for the whole of Africa?
Yes.
Musa?
Well, I have been just, noticing some few here.
Yeah.
So I just want to elaborate it. Because that I was just wanted to comment about this corruption.
Yes.
Let's hear.
So I just put like, rapping.
Yes.
Summarizing.
Yeah, like a rafting, a raft. Yeah, summarizing. Okay, you can say that.
You just want to wrap it up. Okay. Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay, let's
Because here I say corruption corruption is belong to the slave master because it created of them. So then you get it. Then why? Then you cannot think is the African are corrupt. If the corruption is created of the slave master, then the corruption belongs there and it comes from there. Then it doesn't matter where he went and do the job.
It's like you're trying to say the slave chains.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're still
Slave
on
chains.
the
You see? So that's why now I put example why I say rapping and he says summarizing.
Yes.
That's
It's
why
the
I
same
say I
thing.
give you examples.
Okay.
I say, you see, you have to think
It's hot.
because
I
of
think it's hot.
when you think about capitalism,
Yeah. Yeah.
racism, propaganda, socialism, freedom fight. I don't say freedom fight, freedom fight, because all this is have a question of this philosophical. Because I say, you say freedom fighter. You say freedom and say you're fighter.
Freedom fight.
If you want the freedom, you don't need to fight.
No, everything
You have to fight
today
for
we
your
have to
freedom.
fight for
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But they bring in this fight in Africa. There's a fight for freedom, and you fight, you kill each other. End of the day, when
They are
freedom
still-
come, you are not
Yes.
exist.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the funny thing
So-
is, even when freedom comes, it belongs to them because they are the one enjoying the freedom.
Yeah, but you know, all this is like to give you the example
Yeah.
still of the corruption we are talking.
Okay.
And when we talk about the mental slavery, we talk about the slave chain.
But how do you
Yeah.
connect like freedom fighting with corruption? I don't
Yeah,
really.
yeah, of course,
They
because
have
the freedom fighting
Yeah.
is also created of the slave master.
Okay.
Yes.
Because he make you to fight.
Ah.
Yeah, when he come in, even in your country, they have been even separating after through through a tribe.
Yes.
They say, example, here is the Fulani, here is the Mandingos, like what almost by second what they wanted to do again in Mali. Eh? So, but when they come to you, the religious, this Musa is against you, is your enemy. We help you there because he will fight you. They give you weapons.
Yes.
And then they go, they trump,
Come
they
to
come to
Musa.
me, the religion is your big enemy, but we help you.
Yeah.
Now we be there, we be enemy,
Exactly.
without knowing because of the still the mental
Mental
slavery.
slavery.
Because we are, you know, we have eyes but we don't see. We have ears but we don't hear.
Yeah.
We have
Okay.
mouths,
So-
but maybe we don't communicate.
So
Yeah.
now what will happen?
Yeah.
Now me and you, we are there fighting,
Yeah.
killing each other. Through there, when they come in now, they say, let me help this country.
Yes.
These people, they are suffering. When they come, they steal the resource. You are fighting there. Because they give you a job.
Yeah. The funny.
And then after that, when we fight, we kill each other. And half of them be wounded, the other die. The be wounded now need a medicine. And they bring another chemical again. It's not even medicine. They inject it.
Okay, let me
So-
just
You mean the
let me just check
pharmaceutical
something
companies?
there.
Yeah, still they fighting you.
Yeah.
Without you are knowing.
Okay,
Musa.
wait, let's
Okay,
hear that.
sorry.
While they make you to fight, they are making agreements with each group.
Yeah.
So either one that wins the war is their partner. So it's something that I don't know how we can get free from it. Because let us just say some of the wars in Africa. If you look where they are fighting is where there are riches. Either oil, diamond or gold.
Colton.
Yes. So if there is nothing in that country that they are interested in, they don't come into the conflict.
Of course.
They say solve it yourself.
So that's why I say here, when you fighting, they are stealing your resource.
Yes.
But you see, out of all this, when I say this capitalism, racism, propaganda, socialism, freedom fight, terrorists, you see, you have terrorists also. That one, at least George Bush have been creating that. Then after that, what happened? All Africa. The terrorists, it was the African. He created a terrorist in America or Europe, whatever, and the whole Europe, everybody, because they understand each other, this game. Then everywhere they call terrorists. Even Sweden here is a terrorist. But who is the terrorist? The terrorist now is the African and whatever.
But actually,
And the terrorists, again, they are fighting. They have weapons. But these weapons, who gives them? Who supports them?
That's what it's the same thing we're saying. Because of corruption, they give you weapons and want favor.
yeah.
That's why I always
But I want to.
And you have the religion after the terrorists.
Yeah.
And you have the manipulation.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But I want to bring in something because the other day I actually watched a hearing about white terrorism, and it was so refreshing because it was like, it was based in the U.S. and they were actually discussing, white supremacy and whatever, but they were also bringing in like the European countries and actually showing how these white supremacists would travel to various European countries to fight for each other, set up various camps where they would train, recruits and whatever, and also teach them about how to infiltrate various positions in society. And I thought that was so refreshing because for me it was like, finally you were actually admitting that you have to be a racist.
Well, actually, this thing went on also in Europe, whereby the racists from different countries were going to each other's country to have these big meetings. But then the question is, you don't like foreigner, but now you're a foreigner in somebody's country. How do you define that?
Between themselves.
But it's still like, it's
no,
still...
but they don't like foreigners. Now, if I leave Sweden and go to Spain, I'm a foreigner.
Yeah, it's true, but at the same time too, when they go there, it's not like you said, it's about interest. That's what they go there for.
Yeah.
But it's still like where they are, it's still like a so-called white-dominated country. So for that reason, they're still taken up in the whiteness.
Yeah.
So they...
But do they call... Wait, they don't like the Turkish people. So would they say the Greeks are European, like them?
Yeah.
But half of them are Turkish people.
Still, they're Greek.
Don't
It's
react to the
really...
terrorism.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
react.
really, just like William is saying, is interest.
It's interest. Yeah.
What is the interest? Are we kind of like, I like it in Spanish when they said, are we comrades?
Congress.
No, comrades. We fight for the same thing.
Compañeros.
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 Yeah, we are together for a cause. When can the Africans unite that way for a cause?
I
That's a
think.
good question.
Can I just
can
say
answer.
something? I would like to talk soon. I'm Just give me 2 minutes, okay? 2 minutes. Musa and I had a very interesting discussion yesterday evening, where we're actually bringing up why all of a sudden, Google and I think you're saying Facebook and all these other social medias were, getting the businesses looked at properly. And he actually said that you have to look at, dig deep, because what they're doing, since anybody can publish, create a channel on YouTube, that creates a platform for us African to communicate. Start communicating, start talking to each other. We see things now, and I think that has helped a lot in the the latest awakening that is going on amongst Africans.
Yes.
Okay, I rest.
This is one difference.
1 second.
Before I was finishing this,
No, you wrap up.
because here, of the definition of the corruption, here you have, when you talk about education, example, we say education, so we need the education, we need to educate our people.
Yes.
But the Africans, they're educated, example.
Mm-hmm.
And then now when they are going to look for degree, they go to Europe.
Yes.
But when they go there, they never come back.
No, they rather be a dishwasher
And
working in
there's a
McDonald's
question
than
there,
going back
why they don't come back, because that one is minus for the country.
Yeah,
That
because
is
they
what
are on
people
scholarship. Yeah.
Because all of them who are intelligent and educated, when they go to Europe, they don't come back. That is also is good to, when we talk about this mindset, to change it, to understand. You have to discuss to know why they don't come back. Because they buy them there. They campaign and they say, if you go back to your country, how much you can get in a month?
Wait.
So,
I want to comment.
Okay.
Please, we Africans have a problem. We cannot always put our problem on other people.
No.
Listen, if they come here, let me say my country have paid my school fee, gave me scholarship, come to Europe, study, and now I'm expected to go back to help. Know that the way I came, I don't have that same mentality.
Exactly.
I've changed my mentality. Now I want to ask my government to allow me to influence them. But some governments will rather fight you. Because now you have the white man's influence.
Sure.
But didn't you think about it before sending me abroad? So some of the reason why our people, some of them go back and then come back to Europe. There's no platform for them. Some of them, they left there corrupt and they came here, they learned something else, but when they go back, they are more corrupt than the ones that are there. So in all this, what is it benefiting the African nation? Should our government start looking at these people in the diaspora, respecting the knowledge that they have acquired, to come and help us back home? Or should we just leave them as they are? Whether they are working as bus drivers or with lots of education. We have to start asking us these questions. When do we respect them? Should we call them back home and give them good salaries? Do they deserve it? They have been here. We rather take the Europeans down to Africa than to call back from the diaspora. But I bet you what is in my blood and in my culture cannot just come out at once. I like now what they start doing with the NGOs. They are not sending experts anymore. Africa have lots of experts. Why do we need they cannot solve our problems. Rather, they will add to it. Some people say it that way. They add to it instead of solving it. Because they come with their own mentality and want to influence what is already on ground. It doesn't work. So we are in this platform to also shed light in this thing. Papa G, you have the word, sir.
Yeah, sorry.
I think what you ended up saying now is actually what Musa was saying, which I think we should get into and also focus our energy on. And that energy that energy have to be rather than focusing now in this generation on what our colonizers have done to us, it's pain and what we are going through, what we have been going through. It is important for the next generation to know. But I believe